You, my friend, should strive to reach a point in your life where you consciously decide between should I make 50k a month or should I make 30k a month. And I know you're thinking those are some nice problems to have, which they are, and I want those problems for you. The best time was yesterday, the second best time is now. So if you're not going to start now, how do you expect to actually get results? Growing a cash flowing, time freedom, location freedom enabling business is not the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Sometimes it feels like you're hustling and working and doing all the right things, but you're getting no results. So here are the real results I saw from trying to build my own social media marketing agency in 45 days. For those of you that don't know, my name is Adam and I started a social media marketing agency that has made over $1 million online. However, like you, before I started my social media marketing agency, I binged YouTube for months and months. I mean, I watched video after video until one day I had a very potent realization. When the fuck was I gonna get started? So I started. I put my big boy boots on and I got to work. I shook off my imposter syndrome and I started reaching out to businesses that might need my services. Shortly after pulling up my pants, putting on the big boy boots, I did sign my first client very quickly. My first client paid $1,200 per month. They were paying for us to create 30 pieces of unique content for their social media, to post the content to their social media, manage their DMs, comments, etc., and grow the page. Well, needless to say, they really liked what we did. So much so that within the first week, they referred us to another business. So within 1 week, we were up to 2 clients at $2,400 per month in recurring monthly revenue. Both clients paying $1,200. And it was at this point that the snowball effect truly kicked in. The snowball effect kicked in for 2 key reasons. One was I completely shook off my imposter syndrome, knowing that I just signed 2 clients in 1 week. So all the doubts and all the months that I spent procrastinating watching YouTube videos disappeared from my mind, because now I realized it was actually possible. The second reason is that when you sign a client, you tend to get very hungry. You think, if I can sign 1, I can sign 10. And to sign 10, I wasn't going to rely on referrals and word of mouth, so I needed to take matter into my own hands. It was at this point where we went very, very heavy on reaching out to businesses on Instagram, specifically with Instagram DM voice notes. So what happened next was that after the 45-day period, we had gained over 10k a month in monthly recurring revenue for the business. And it still feels a little bit weird to say because, as I mentioned, for months before this, when I was procrastinating, just watching the videos, sitting on the sidelines and watching other people do it, I genuinely thought that it wasn't really possible. I knew there was a glimmer of hope in my head and I knew one day I'll sign clients, but I did not expect it to scale that fast. So you might be wondering, how did I go from 0 to 10k per month in 45 days when it takes other people up to an entire year to get to that mark? In fact, there's a couple people I know, some of them are good friends of mine, that are not even making 10k per month and they've been running an agency for over 5 years. You see, most SMMA owners and business owners in general have a pretty shitty diet. I took that exact diet, stripped out the fat, and I kept the meat. Others call this the 80-20 rule. Essentially, if you start a marketing agency and you work for 10 hours a day, I can pretty much bet that 80% of that work is kind of meaningless and it's not going to bring you new revenue. Polishing up your website, making your logo look nicer, things that don't really matter. So what if you took the 20%, cold calling, the cold emailing, the outreach, the appointment setting, and you increase that to 50%? Wouldn't you probably see better results? That's exactly what I was thinking, and that's exactly what happened, because now I was spending my time on the things that push the needle forward. The things that actually bring revenue into the business. We didn't have a website, we didn't have an agency social media page. I was reaching out, doing voice notes from my Instagram as many hours a day as I possibly could without getting banned. You see, the hardest part for you and for me was to actually just start. I procrastinated for months and that just leaves you feeling empty, and I felt a bit worthless. And it's probably why you're watching this video and not doing the actual work. So if anybody hasn't told you yet, I want you to get started. I have a saying that I constantly tell my mentorship students. The best time was yesterday, the second best time is now. So if you're not going to start now, how do you expect to actually get results? Now, after that 45-day period, my business continued to grow very rapidly. We scaled the business past 50k per month within about a year after that point. But I got to a point where, and this is a weird flex, but there was a point where my business made more money than it should have. More money than I wanted it to. There was a point where there was too much stress and there wasn't enough time freedom, which was the reason I started the business in the first place. So I intentionally scaled down the business so I didn't have to work as much and I could increase my profit margin. So you, my friend, should strive to reach a point in your life where you consciously decide between should I make 50k a month or should I make 30k a month. And I know you're thinking those are some nice problems to have, which they are, and I want those problems for you. For now, my friend, I want you to start, and if I can be of help to you along this journey, just let me know.